Hello everyone and welcome to the very last episode of 2016's Reese's Random Reviews. As usual, I am Reese, about to give you a random review, but also another random countdown because I've never really done this before, but I'm actually going to do my top 10 favourite films that I've seen this year. Now, the only reason I've never really done this is because obviously I started my random reviews only just last year, and normally when I try and pick out my top 10 films, most people tend to judge me quite a lot, or they tend to say that film isn't great and everything, and they kind of say, why is that film in your list? And people tend to be really disrespectful towards me. But I thought this year, I don't give a fuck about that, because your opinion is your opinion and my opinion is my opinion. So instead, I have decided to go ahead with a top 10 countdown, and I've decided to finally get it out there because there has been some really great films out this year, and I think there should be a top 10, and I think I have the right to give out my own personal opinion of what my top 10 films are. Now, just so you know, I apologise as well for the bad audio and maybe the bad camera quality. I'm filming this on my laptop because I don't have my camera with me. I'm actually at my girlfriend's house and Christmas has just been finished. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I surely did. And plus New Year is coming, so I'm spending time at my girlfriend's house for New Year's. So I'm doing this over here. So yeah, that's the difference. But I'm now finally going to talk about my top 10 films. And of course, this is my last video of 2016. Don't forget that on New Year's Day, my film Crime Ballet 3 is going to be released. And I hope you all guys can see it. So yeah, that's going to come out. And in 2017, there'll be many more random reviews and everything like that. Also, just to throw in, Crime Ballet 3 will be my 200th YouTube video. It's going to be my 200th already. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. And also, just a quick thank you guys for the amount of success and the support and everything you guys have given me. It's honestly meant a lot, and it's been fantastic. I can't believe as well that I've almost got 140 subscribers, because I think I've got 134 now, I think. So thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed, who's supported my videos. You know who you guys are. Okay, so let's get down to the random review and the countdown, because this is my top 10. So I just want to try and get through them as much as possible. So let's start with number 10. Okay, so I know this was meant to be a 2015 film, but this film actually only got released in January 2016. So The Revenant, to me, and to pretty much the UK, counts as a 2016 film. And The Revenant was actually the first film that I saw in 2016 this year. Me and my girlfriend went and saw the film. We saw the trailers, and obviously we're big fans of Leonardo DiCaprio, so we decided to go and see it. Plus, I'm a huge fan of the director of The Revenant. I can't remember his name though, but he did Birdman, and I loved Birdman, so I finally went to see The Revenant, and the film was just beautiful. It was fantastic. It was brutal. It was epic. Tom Hardy as a supporting character was fantastic. There were some really great actors in this film, and Leonardo finally won an Oscar for this role. I mean, he should have won an Oscar earlier, for Catch Me If You Can, Wolf of Wall Street, Titanic, and everything else he's done. But I'm so glad that he finally got an Oscar for something, and this was well deserving. So again, Leonardo, congratulations. Moana is number 9, and this film actually took me by surprise. This is a really, really good Disney film, but I wouldn't say it was the best. I mean, obviously, I'm going to talk more about that later, about what was my best Disney film, but Moana reaches number 9 because, for many reasons, it's got a wonderful story, it's completely original, it's beautifully, beautifully animated, it has got one of the most catchiest songs in the film, which is You're Welcome. I just loved the film because it was just so wonderfully made. I thought Dwayne Johnson was fantastic as the demigod. It was just such a beautiful, wonderful, clever, funny, animated movie. I loved it. I thought it was great. And yeah, so it goes in my top 10. Deadpool has got to be one of the funniest films I've seen this year. It was fantastic. It was funny. It was rude. It was wrong. It was hilarious. Ryan Reynolds was fantastic. This film had to be in my top 10. I think it's in everybody's top 10, but Deadpool was just great. And, you cannot diss Deadpool. I mean, who doesn't love that film? When everyone wanted to go and see this film, I had to go and see this film. And I did. And you know what? I'm so glad I did. And now it's in my top 10. Number 7 is Hail Caesar. And most people weren't really sure about this film, but I personally loved this movie. Hail Caesar is a fantastic film because it's so wonderfully unique and so wonderfully creative. To me, it's like one of the most original films of this year. Earlier this year, back in probably late March, early April, I did a review on Hail Caesar, and I was just saying about how unique it was. And it is. I mean, I think, honestly, Hail Caesar is so wonderfully cleverly made. I mean, the Coen brothers did a fantastic job on this movie. You know, the way the whole film was structured and done, the fact it doesn't really have a plot, even though it makes you think there is a plot. The actors were fantastic in this movie, especially Josh Brolin, Scarlett Johansson, George Clooney, Ralph Fiennes, the actor who played the cowboy. I still can't remember his name, but he was, you know, the young cowboy actor when he done the spaghetti western. I fucking love Hail Caesar. You need to watch that movie. Number 6 is, to me, one of the funniest films of 2016. You're all probably not going to agree on it, but I personally think this is the funniest film of 2016. Keanu is absolutely fantastic. This film was very, very limited release, not very well in the UK. It was only shown for 2 weeks, and there were only 2 screenings every day. One at 6 o'clock and one at 9 o'clock at night. Me and my best mate went to see this movie. And oh my God, did we absolutely kill ourselves laughing. This film made me laugh so much that I hadn't laughed so hard in the cinema since I saw Ted. And seriously, I fell off my cinema chair, the chair in the cinema, twice watching Keanu, because there were so many funny things going on in this movie and so much stuff happening. And the jokes and the writing and the acting and the plot. It's just so genius and witty and so stupid that you would love it. If you love stupid humour, great comedy, great writing, and if you love cats as well, you're going to love Keanu. You have to see Keanu. Love that movie. Some people didn't put this in their top 10, but personally I did. And if people are going to hate me for this, then I don't care. Fantastic Beasts, to me, was a beautifully made film. Fantastic Beasts, yeah, it wasn't Harry Potter, I know, wasn't compared to Harry Potter, wasn't as great as Harry Potter, I completely know that. Harry Potter is fantastic. But Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was a very entertaining, feel-good movie for me. And when I watched it, it felt very nostalgic for me because it kind of felt a little bit like I was watching, you know, a sort of Philosopher's Stone kind of type of film where it's all the beginning and it's going to be the start of something big. Plus, J.K. Rowling, I think, wrote a really good script. I thought the actors, you know, Eddie Raymond, who plays Newt, I thought he was fantastic and he's a great actor. I loved him in The Danish Girl as well. And he's just a brilliant actor, and he made this movie, and yeah, the plot was a bit thin and stuff, but it doesn't really matter because the film was just such a wonderful thing to watch. And the reason it's so high is because, to me, it just was wonderfully creative. So therefore, it's in my number 5, so there you go. Number 4 has got to be one of the most beautiful animated films I've ever seen this year, The Red Turtle. This film was... I can't even explain it. This film was just beautiful, and Studio Ghibli, who helped with this film, they know how to make fantastic movies. I mean, come on, Studio Ghibli, every time there's a Studio Ghibli film out, I'm there. I am a huge Studio Ghibli fan, seriously. I have watched nearly every single one. The only one I haven't seen yet is only yesterday, but I'm still going to get to that, and when I have finally seen all of them. But I love Studio Ghibli, and even though their studio just produced this one, you can tell that this was definitely a Studio Ghibli production because the story and the film was just beautiful. I went to the BFI festival to see this, and you know what? I'm so glad I did because it was one of the best experiences I ever saw, and you know what? I absolutely loved it. And you know what? If I get a chance to go to the BFI festival again and Studio Ghibli release another film, you're going to see me there. Number 3 is possibly one of the best live-action Disney remakes ever made so far. is The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book was so beautifully done and so wonderfully written that I honestly fell in love with this movie as soon as it was just playing. Like, as soon as the titles come up, I was just like, look at this movie. It's amazing. Seriously, Jungle Book. How can you not love this film? This film was gorgeous. It was a fantastic film. They actually made a real great plot out of it. You know, not like the cartoon Disney one because there wasn't really a plot to it, you know. But they made a proper plot. The voice acting in Jungle Book was amazing. Bill Murray as Baloo. You know, Idris Elba as Shere Khan. I mean, come on. That was amazing. The wonderful Ben Kingsley voice in Bagheera with that voice. Oh my God, that wonderful Ben Kingsley voice is just beautiful to listen to. Seriously, if you haven't seen Jungle Book, you have to watch it. It was one of the best films I saw this year, and that's why it reaches number 3. Great story, great voice acting, wonderfully directed, wonderfully made. I mean, come on, it's the best Disney live-action remake so far. Number 2 is finally another Studio Ghibli film, but this is what film that they actually released, which is probably one of the most heartfelt films I've seen this year, When Marnie Was There. This film almost made me cry. Such an incredible film. Why? Because of its wonderfully told original story. When Marnie Was There has got to be one of the most amazing original animated films I've seen in the cinema. Me and my best mate Charlie went to see this film, and we're, as I said, we're huge fans of Studio Ghibli. So when we went to see this movie, oh my God, did we love it. And do you know what? It definitely deserves to be on the top high of my list, because seriously, this was a tough one for me. I didn't know if this should be number 1 or number 2, but to me, this had to be definitely in the top 3. So now it's in number 2. Number 1 is definitely this movie. My favourite Disney film, my favourite animated film, practically my favourite film of 2016, Zootropolis, or Zootopia. This film is brilliant. Like, what was so amazing about this movie is the fact that it had really great mature themes. Disney didn't step back. And the fact that it's a bit more for the adults than it is for the kids because of its theme. Kids will only love this movie because there's a talking rabbit, a talking fox, a talking sheep and stuff like that. But for me, personally, the themes and the way this film goes about its message is really, really deep. Plus, it talks about friendship, which is really important. Judy and Nick's chemistry worked on this well, because I love duo films. So duo films really worked in this. You know, the fact that they have to team up together. It kind of pretty much reminded me of 48 Hours, but with animals and with no swearing, minus Eddie Murphy, if you know what I mean. But seriously, Zootropolis, or Zootopia, whatever you want to call it, is honestly one of the most amazing films I've ever seen this year. I loved it. Me and my girlfriend went to see this on my birthday, and I fell in love with this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I thought Disney done a great job with it. It deserved to get critically appraised. It deserved to gross over $1 billion because it was that great. I mean, it was just so wonderfully written and wonderfully done. So it deserves to be number 1. And there you go, guys. That is my final top 10 of 2016 movies. So let me just say, what is your favourite 2016 movie? Or what is your top 10 or your top 5 or whatever? Or if you just have one favourite movie, just tell me. Comment, subscribe, and let me know, guys. And don't forget, Crime Ballet 3 is on its way on New Year's Day. And don't forget, this is my final 2016 movie. Again, guys, thank you so much for your support. You all have been wonderful this year. I cannot wait for 2017. Loads of great, exciting stuff is coming up. And I can tell you this now. Loads of more random reviews, more short films, more video blogs, loads of updates coming up. Seriously, guys, you're not going to want to miss 2017. I'm really looking forward to it. And I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. And I am Reese. And for the final time in 2016, I have just given you a random review.